Hey everyone, welcome to another video review. This is the Transformers masterpiece MP-58 Hoist. He is a Cybertron repairman, and you can see him there in truck mode in front of his box. We'll go ahead and put the figure off to the side and take a look at said box. And yes, it is an MP box. You can see Hoist in his robot in truck modes. You got the long life design. Takara Tomy, you got Transformers masterpiece. You know, a bunch of words that a lot of you aren't going to be reading, and I can read some of it. All that stuff. You got Transformers masterpiece and Hoist up here. You got, a picture of his alt mode right there. You got a picture of his robot mode right there, looking all cool. On the bottom, you have copyrights and warnings and phone numbers and all that stuff, and Toyota officially licensed product and all that. And on the back, you have a bunch of product shots and a big old bio thing, which, well, I couldn't read some of it. Again, so some of it, what's included in the box, and some, just photos and, cool stuff right there. And yeah, it's a Toyota Hilux. It also comes with instructions, which are pretty good for going one direction, although it's really difficult to follow them if you're trying to go the other way, as I kind of explained in my transformation video. But overall, pretty solid little bits of instruction. I'll also show you how the accessories work. And of course, it comes with the bio card, which is a nice piece of artwork right there. You can see that, nice artwork there. It says Hoist and all that. And on the back is, of course, again, bio and tech specs and all that stuff, and a couple of pictures. And there you go. That's those things. And now you got Hoist. And yes, Hoist, you can see, is a green Toyota Hilux with some black and yellow detailing. Again, getting in close. Got nice striping. Even got, of course, you can see that gap. I'll talk a little bit about that in a second. But yeah, you can see, he's got a four-wheel drive right there on there. You got his nice tires with the silver rims. You got a nice chrome bumper. It says Toyota right there. Little parking lights, picked down paint. You got the Autobot symbol right there on the hood. The windshield is clear, translucent, I should say. All that stuff. Coming down, of course, you got the little gas flap thing right there, molded on one side, on the other, which is correct. And yeah, got the yellow, got the red, red tail lights and parking lights. And again, you got red and black striping back here, and it says Toyota right there. You got the trailer hitch. You got all this stuff, whatever the heck it is, all the extra bits. Of course, the underside, you can see it's kind of just all leg, but all the rest of the robot hides away. There you go. You can see that all from the side, but it's not too bad. And the nice thing is also he still rolls nicely, even with all that undercarriage. So there you go. Also, my roof is a little iffy. Hold on. Well, anyway, yeah. You can see that's one thing. So it does look overall good, but you can see the weird thing about the door. This was kind of a problem with Trailbreaker, and I kind of brought it up. I don't think anyone really noticed weirdly enough, but his door is weird because there's a gap. Either you get a gap or you get a severe misalignment of it's a weird thing of either this gap or the paint is misaligned or the detailing is misaligned, or both. And it's I don't know what it is, but yeah, there's this gap. It's not a huge problem, but it's there. It's also there on this side too. People mostly noting on the driver's side, but it's also there on the passenger side, so it's kind of odd. But yeah, other than that though, he's actually pretty good. That's my one real complaint about this is just that. I'm not sure what's going on with that, but just things would be a common problem. I can't seem to get it all lined up properly. These things can move around. I'm not sure what they're for. No one really knows what they're for. Someone's come up with the idea that they're just kind of supposed to represent little ramp little things for getting cars out of snow or whatever, which that's a decent hypothesis. But regardless, he's got a couple accessories you can use in this mode, namely guns like Trailbreaker. He has the alternate grill. You can see it's more cartoony, more green, more egg crate, and gray bumper. And swapping them out is pretty easy. You just kind of slide the grill down, pull it forward, and then pop it in. And also like Trailbreaker, the cartoon one doesn't like to pop in as easily as the realistic one, but you do that if you want. I'm not a fan of this, but if you're more cartoonish, there you go. But I prefer the realistic looking truck personally. That's just me. You can do whatever you want with your toy. So there's that. Oh yeah, there's this crane bit, which there's a little peg right here. A peg hole, I should say, and this can peg right here like this. You can, then rotate it around. It's got a hinge right here. It's got a hinge right here, and the claw can rotate and open at those hinges. And yeah, he could do that because I believe, which episode was that? The one where they worked? Yeah, I think this is from the episode where they worked with the Constructicons. That was one of Hoist's premiere episodes. Also, Hoist Goes Hollywood, which bring that one up later. But you can do all that. It's pretty cool. And there you go. So there's that. Didn't want that, but yeah. And one other feature he has, which is this is not included accessory, but if you have the MP-44 spike, and they call it a couple other ones. Hold on, I'll be able to check which ones they are, because I remember the MP-44, and that's the one I have. Yeah. Okay, MP-44, MP-54. That's the other one. If you have either of those figures, you can use the spike that came with it. And this is MP-44 spike. Yeah, you can go ahead and open the door, because the doors are openable. Open the door. And there's not really a seat there, but there is a spot for him to kind of sit, and you can just kind of get that, get him in there. Kind of looks a little goofy, but and also a little small in my opinion. But hey, there you go. Spike and I guess spark plug too can sit in the seats as you like, and there you go. If you want, I'm gonna go ahead and get them out of there because it's kind of cool, but where's now? Oh, come on. There you go. It's kind of cool, but not something I'm going to be using very often, but it is kind of neat. And of course, he also has this tow hook, which there's a little rolling wheel that does roll too. You can also hinge that up if you want, keep it up like that, or of course bring it down for towing. And I guess showing that off also do the first comparison, which is, hey, here's Trailbreaker, because you got this can hook under, and now he's lifted up, and hey, look, you can tow, which is pretty neat. You can tow the other Autobot cars. It's not the greatest. It's not like it latches in or anything, but hey, certain cars you can be able to hook it under, and I'm not going to try to test it with every single one of them, but certain ones you can latch under and tow the cars, and that's pretty neat. Yeah, since your Trailbreaker's here, here's the comparison, which despite the fact that they have the same they have the same alt mode in the Toyota Hilux, obviously Hoist has a very different back end. And there's some differences here, like Hoist has the kind of weird T-tops thing and whatnot, but the front ends are very similar. You can see that. The front ends are almost the same. All that stuff. Yeah. They also have pretty much the same ride height too, which it's pretty interesting. But yeah, the back end, of course, is major difference. Because when you transform it, it's pretty clear that these two have very little in common. Basically, the only transformation steps that are identical between the two is, sliding down the grill, opening up the hood, and stowing away the mirrors. Everything else is, even if it's stuff that's similar, works completely differently. And I just realized this wheel came untabbed. Yeah. Everything else works so completely differently that it's like 10% of the truck is of the car the same. Almost everything else is remolded. So to the point of it might as well be a new mold. It's like the Cheetor and Tigatron. They're the same. They have the same. They're supposed to have the same transformation, but they're so completely different from one another. Yeah. So that's one comparison. Of course, can't have Hoist without his buddy Grapple. Finally, Grapple gets his buddy, boyfriend, whatever you want to call him. And there they go. There they look good together. Me now realizing, those yellows and oranges are very different shades from one another. But yeah, there they are. And just one final comparison in this mode, just because here's MP-10B, because why not? Because this is my channel. I can put whatever Prime mold I want. So here's MP-10B, just for the sake of my own sanity of not having to sit here for an extra 40 minutes transforming another mold. There you go, size-wise, that's actually pretty close. So there you go. So I think that's everything for the alt mode. Pretty much, that's pretty much everything for the alt mode. Great looking truck. The only problem is, in my opinion, the only real problem is just the doors don't nicely align for whatever reason, and no one can figure out why. I've tried making them align better, but it just doesn't seem to work. There's always a gap, or it's crooked, or one both. So that's a little disappointing, but not the end of the world. So I'm going to go ahead and get this guy into robot mode, and we'll continue this review. Hoist in robot mode. Yeah, it is. If I've probably already noticed, it's probably significantly different. It's significantly different from Trailbreakers because two different people worked on those characters on the cartoon. So yeah, you got the thing where it's like, yeah, he's got this big old, like, I guess the kind of the beer belly type of thing, but you know it's more flattened out versus Trailbreaker. You got the windshield, chest, and everything. He's got his head, which the mask with the blue visor and everything. He got the silver bit, gun missile launcher thing above his, head right there. You got the big old tall shoulders, although they're kind of empty on the inside, but I'm kind of okay with that considering everything. The white arms were very cylindrical, and the whole no waist and kind of the weird look, kind of looks like he's wearing a little orange, like little tiny orange shorts and everything with like legs and everything. You got his backpack, which, it's not too bad, all things considered. It's, the backpack is actually pretty tightened down and everything. So there you go. That's the thing. Hoist always reminded me, looks wise. Hoist always reminded me of like a tourist, This just to me just screams, this is a tourist. All you have to do is put a Hawaiian pattern on his green bits and, well, you'll make it more obvious. But yeah, it just makes me think of, he just makes me think of a tourist at like Hawaii during the summer or whatever. But yeah, he's actually pretty good looking overall. In this mode, he just generally looks good. So there you go. He comes together pretty well. Again, the transformation's actually a lot. For the most part, I think the transformation is pretty great. My big problem is like weird from different other ones else is like getting the arms out of the feet when transforming him from the truck is kind of difficult, and going back because everything just kind of bangs into them. Like I'm following the directions. I even watch the official Takara thing just to make sure I am doing it correctly. But no, for whatever reason, it just all bangs together, and everyone else like, oh, it's smoothly. But mine just kind of everything's banging into each other. I feel like I'm doing something wrong, and I might be, but I figured it out eventually. But yeah, it just overall looks really nice. Accessory stuff. Well, of course, you got his gun right there, which, action features too. Why not? You got his gun right there, but also he's got this extendo. His gun can also extend out like that. But yeah, he's got the little extendo arms on both arms. Just kind of, this is a very silly super robot stuff or whatever. But his arms can extend out as you want. He's got the little spanner wrench thing, it's got the hexagonal port, and this can peg in right here. Now he's gonna, use his tools as you want. That's pretty cool. Got a tool right there as needed. Of course, that's the thing. This has to be extended right here for this to plug in, or else it won't plug in. So there's that. Yeah, see, because when you slide it down, there's the rivets in the way of that. So got to be aware of that. Also in this hand, he has an alternate, just normal right hand, which also means, yeah, you can, it's pretty simple. It just slides off like this, and then you can just slide on the right hand, and now he's got normal hands. This also means, yeah, if you really want, you can also, yes, because the left hand comes on, you can also swap it to the guns on the left hand if you want. It doesn't affect the transformation. Just basically remember to rotate the fist on the other hand, and it'll also work. So there's all that. So you can give him two fists if you want. Which he does. I think he still has the tab and slop. It doesn't come with a handheld weapon anyway. So, but he can hold other weapons if you want to with these hands. So you go on that. As for all holding stuff, he comes with a spanner, a wrench, spanner, whatever you want to call it. It's the adjustable wrench. And this doesn't have a tab. Like there's no tabs on, which is weird to me. You think but I guess they want it to look good even when it's outside of the hand. So yeah, just open up one of the hands if you want. Man, that finger is being stubborn. Open up the hand and put it in. Put it in. He actually holds it pretty decently, all things considered. I mean, he got a pretty good tight grip on it for the most part. So you can hold that. Go fix some stuff if you like, and there you go. I don't know. The only thing I'm worried about is possibly it's got a very chromed thing. I'm worried about that possibly rubbing off over time. So just be careful with that if you use it. He also has from, the Hoist Goes Hollywood. I brought it up before. Yeah, he's got the alien mask from Hoist Goes Hollywood, which you can see, very silly looking. But now that just kind of you can see just how this works is these bits right here just kind of slide over right here on his helmet. And it actually secures pretty well. It's not coming off without, you wanting to come off. So there's that. Looks pretty cool, I guess. Okay, cool is the wrong word, but it looks right. He also has an alternate faceplate. You can see that. It's because that one time he was drawn slightly different. That's pretty straightforward. You just kind of yeah, what you want to do is, I just kind of did it real quick without even explaining it. But yeah, right here, you just kind of hook your finger back here, push this forward, and then just swap to the other one. Like so. If you want that head instead, personally, I prefer the other one, or other face instead. So, you know, I'm going to go with the default one rather than this. But if you like that version for whatever reason, there you go. He also has a blast effect, and this is not rubbery plastic. This is hard plastic, but he has a blast effect. You can, well, if you extend this gun out, you can peg it in here like that. Because yeah, it's got two stages of pegs right there. So you can plug it into the gun. You can plug it into this thing. Oop, come on. Plug it into any one of those ports on there. So there you go. That's something. That's something else. I don't think this can plug in anywhere else. At least not gonna think of. But yeah, there's that. And of course, yeah, the crane from before, still usable in this mode. You can bring this down and out of the way, and still plug that into his back. And now he's got this big old crane towering above his head for whatever reason. Crane arm towering above his head for whatever reason. You can use that however you want. And it still works exactly the same as it did in the vehicle mode, just now on his back. So there you go. Yeah, so that's pretty much the accessories. Yeah, that's all the accessories. Not a huge amount, but also it's kind of the amount for me personally that, like, yeah, that's about good. You know, I'm kind of good with that amount of accessories. Any more than that, it starts becoming a little, okay, come on, you can stop now. You just feels like you're just doing this to crank up the price. But he's got a good amount. And I do definitely appreciate the hand one for sure. So there's that. So posability, head, ball joint. So left, right, up, down, bits of waggle, all that stuff. Shoulders are kind of weird. You have to, wiggle these things all the way, which, can, swivel as you want. You can have those however you want. But, the shoulders can go all the way around right there. They can go outward like that on this hinge, like that. There's also the hinge for the inner hinge. You can have that as well for outward stuff. Because also you can also use the hinges in there to, butterfly, kind of complicated thing, but it works. And also move the hinge forward if you want. If you don't want them all the way back, you can move them forward. Although, I don't know, the weird line. No, yeah, it's a little forward, but yeah, you can move them forward if you want to adjust things like that. There is a swivel right there for the bicep. The proper elbow is down here, but of course you can use this to get the full curl as well. There is nicely molded detail kind of popping up from that hinge as well. Down here, of course, the wrists can in fact swivel. Again, the extendo arms as you want. The hand can open and close like that. The thumb's on a hinge. The fingers are on a hinge. You got the index finger by itself. The index finger's by itself. And it has another hinge right there. And you got the base knuckle and the mid knuckle right there, as of these three are, one unit. So you got all that for the hand. And of course, you also have this hinge as well. So, you got all that. As for waist, he doesn't have one. Well, there's technically kind of a waist buried in there, but it doesn't rotate because of how he transforms and how he looks. So he just doesn't have a waist. And so instead, this right here, you can move these right here. There's a hinge right here. You can move these back and forth a little bit on, but also like, oh no, that's it. But no, there's a hinge right in here too. So he can bend his leg forward. It is kind of odd looking, but it's kind of the price for, getting a show accurate hoist is that. You got that. Outward, you have about that much. Oh yeah, there's another thing I almost forgot to mention, which is, I don't know if this is like vestigial from like an earlier engineering version, but the tires here can move down. I'm not sure if that served a purpose at one point, but you can adjust where the tires sit. But, feels like when you do that, you're kind of just exposing more hollowness in the belly, but I don't know. It's, it depends on how you want things. If you want the tires sitting low, you can do that. If you want them sitting up, you can do that. But it feels like it might be just some sort of a vestigial thing of oh yeah, also you can rotate at this joint as well. Almost forgot this shoulder joint. You can rotate here as well, and you can kind of get some, really extreme poses and stuff. But like, just also know that again, we want the screws facing down here and facing up in the truck modes, or else things are going to be kind of weird looking. And you also have the swivel down here, like so. And yeah, also when he does the splits, it just looks weird because like, oh hey, there's just nothing there. Also his knees. He's got knees right here, which curl about that far. good bend there. Again, molded detail picked out right there. And there you go on those. Down here at the feet, he does have forward and back, well, mostly back, but he does have that and it's ratcheted from the transformation. His ankles can tilt about that far. And he also has a toe joint, which goes up pretty high, although it makes it clear he's got he does have a toe joint. So, there you go. You can go about that far before things start to, separate. There you go on that front. Overall, it looks, he's got a good posability. Some of it's just kind of odd, but, again, no waist swivel because of his design. But overall, he works pretty well, posability-wise. Just, you got to know how to manipulate it. Also, these things can, you can adjust how these things sit a little bit and, rotate them out if you want. If you want them flared out, you can do that. That's a way you can do things, and you have options and whatnot. And this thing also is on a hinge, so you got that forward, up and down here as well. And you can kind of, if you really want to, you don't have to. I don't think you even have to have this out if you don't want. You can just kind of, well, actually, no, you can't. I just realized, yeah, you can, no, you're not. Because, yeah, that's how it's shaped. You can't, unfortunately, you can't just hide it away. Well, it's not easily. You can kind of do that, but that looks weird from the side. So, yeah, it's kind of just chilling there. So, there you go. That's how it works. That's his articulation as far as I can remember, and everything I can remember anyway. There you go. Some of it's just kind of odd in such a way that you kind of have to work with the toy to get, kind of in different ways than you might normally expect for toys. It's just like, just move here. No, you have to move this part here and then move this part here, and then you can kind of get the same arm and articulation, particularly in the shoulders. There you go. So, some comparisons. I'm going to move this up just a smidge. There we go. First of all, here's MP Trailbreaker. To give you an idea. Yeah, and that's the thing. Again, you can see just how different they are. A lot of the third-party guys just kind of did the thing where, like, they would just make a Trailbreaker and then do some minor retooling and make it look like Hoist, and maybe add some extra hinges to make it, because a lot of them also didn't bother doing this. They just flattened out Trailbreaker too. And there is glitter on my, don't know where that came from. Probably my niece. But because of that, Takara really, really did some significant remolding here. And heck, again, you can see they're different heights and everything. Hoist is about half a head shorter than Trailbreaker from the top of the head. So there you go on that. And here, of course, is partner in crime, Grapple. Oh yeah. He's actually, Grapple felt a lot bigger back now. Now he feels only a smidge taller than Hoist, which is weird. Because Grapple always felt bigger, and it's like, no, he's actually not that much bigger than the rest of the, like Trailbreaker and Hoist in them. There you go. Though, so yeah, that seems about right, personally. And one final comparison that I'm going to do, which is, here's MP-59. Although, yeah, right, that's right. The legs are... There's MP-49. What am I doing with these legs? There we go. There you go, MP-49. Again, there, if you want to see how tall he was compared to Optimus or Nemesis or whatever. Again, my channel, I can do what I want. There you go. So, Hoist. Hoist is... He's a good figure for sure. He's I feel like overall his transformation is somewhat intricate, but also like not too hard to figure out. A lot of people have trouble with the shoulders, particularly going back to from robot to truck. But once you know the order of operations, it's actually really not that hard. It's just managing to remember which order you got to do the steps in. But the individual steps are really easy. The trunk mode mostly looks good. The only problem is the gap in the doors, at the front of the doors. I don't know why that's there. No one knows. People are trying to figure it out, but it's either it sits crooked, it sits with the gap, or it sits with both. And the robo mode, it's Hoist, is kind of this goofy, kind of dorky, touristy looking guy. He just looks like a huge dork, but you know what? That's Hoist, and I'm fine with that. He looks great for, he does exactly what he sets out to do, and I am 100% okay with that as a whole. It's it's a good one. I rather like it, and I think the price I paid, how much did I pay for it? It was like just over $100. So yeah, he's intricate. I don't feel like any part of it particularly is like particularly fragile. Maybe if you like really work, if you really tweak with the door hinges, you might break something. But it's kind of obvious that's a thin piece of plastic. Don't put a ton of pressure on it. But overall, he's a solid figure, and he's fun, and he's got a decent amount of accessories, and he looks good, and he's just good. He's just a good masterpiece. I would very much recommend him, especially if you don't already have a Hoist. You might already be happy with one of the Fans Toys. There's Fans Toys, Bad Cube, MMC. Did X-Transbots do one? I don't remember, but yeah, I think those are the ones, and that was it pretty much. But he's good. If you're happy with one of those, that's fine. But if you don't have a Hoist yet, this is a good Hoist. Some people, there's, you can be very, very nitpicky about, stuff like, I know in the show we often had the shoulders at an angle, and like you can argue about the shoulders being technically kind of hollow, but he looks good in my opinion. So worth picking up if you're into MP at all, if you're into Hoist. But yeah, there you go. If you think you don't like Hoist for whatever reason, then this is not going to change your mind. So there you go. I hope you found this review informative or entertaining. I hope you like, comment, and subscribe. Check out my social media. It's down in the description and at the end of the video. Check out my Coffee, my Patreon. And I shall see you next time with another video review.